I have made significant errors in my life. I have made big mistakes. I have made little mistakes. I have made mistakes that I didn't think were big at the time but turned out to be massive. I have made incredibly damaging decisions. How are we supposed to live with that? Good morning. My name is Ed Travers. I'm an Anglican priest in the Diocese of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. I get to serve in the beautiful town of Shelburne, Nova Scotia, in the awesome parish of Church Shelburne that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And this morning, no, I'm not going to ask you to take my confession, but I do want to talk about how we're supposed to live with our mistakes. So as I mentioned, I've made mistakes in my life, and quite honestly, those things often come back up for me as I have encounters, or I have experiences, or I'm often triggered by some of these silly and sometimes just hurtful things that I've done. It's not uncommon for me to have a flashback, a memory of something that I did in grade 5 or 6, or something I said in high school, or something that I did a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago. They seem to stay with me. And I sometimes, and last week I was thinking about it. What am I supposed to do with this stuff? I mean, I did a video last week about letting go of our past. Whether it's good or bad stuff, we need to allow it to be a memory and nothing more, that it shouldn't have power over us. And yet here I am, the preacher, still allowing some of these things to have power over me. There's a sense that when we make a mistake, we're never supposed to forget it. That we're supposed to carry it, and we're supposed to hold on to it, and we're supposed to honor it so that we never forget it, so that we pay for it, so that we allow it to be something that the memory keeps us from ever doing it again. But the truth is, that doesn't work. I've made the same mistake multiple times. It's that idea that it should prevent us from doing something in the future doesn't seem to hold water. And yet, sometimes our decisions, our actions have hurt people. And so we ask ourselves, well, is it fair that I'm able to let it go when they may still be hurt? Well, the truth is, who's to say they even remember you, let alone the action? Who's to say they're triggered the same way you are? So that doesn't necessarily seem to hold water either. So what then? What are we supposed to do with these mistakes? Well, the truth is, we're supposed to see our mistakes for what they are. They're moments in time. We made choices, whether they were the right choice or the wrong choice, whether they were informed or ill-informed, is irrelevant. We made them, we took action, and things unfolded. Those mistakes we made are nothing more than moments in time. They're not to be honored. They're not to be treasured. They're not to be valued. They are meant to be what they are. They're an indicator, possibly they are an indicator of what you were going through in the moment. But they probably are not a valuable indicator of who you were back then. They're certainly not an indicator of who you are today. And that it doesn't matter what other people think. Other people may hold it against you, and that's up to them. That's their decision. Quite honestly, it's their loss. If they can't see you as anything more than the person that made a particular choice at a particular time, they're the ones who are stuck, not you. And so the question of what are we supposed to do with our mistakes is simply allow them to be what they are. Allow them to be no more than what they are. Memories. They're moments in time. do not allow them to be indicators of who you are. Do not allow them to speak to your character today. Do not allow them to stunt your growth. Do not allow them to limit your possibilities. They're moments in time and they are no more. They are not an indication of who God built you to be. They are not an indication of your potential. Let them go. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, and may you know the peace of being in God's presence. I pray that you will know, that you will absorb, that you will accept that you have been forgiven, that these things in your past are in your past, that they have no power over you going forward. They have no value in God's world anymore. They are not a consideration for God when it comes to his love for you. Amen.